My name is Agma Schwa. I didn't believe in ghosts until I came face to face with one. I then set out on a quest to capture what I saw onto YouTube. 3 a.m. Perfect. It happened. It finally happened. I spoke to them. Hey everybody. Welcome to Okay, it finally happened. I have the evidence. I have all of the evidence. I've discovered the language of the ghosts. I finally learned how to speak the hallowed ween. Quiet, Lapis, this is secret. Native speakers call it The curdling screams from beyond is the literal translation, though most paranormal experts call it the hallowed ween. Do you ever just feel like you know something and you're certain that it's true, but you know that if you told anybody in the public, no one will believe you. They just scoff and laugh in your face. Well, as the world's leading ghost linguist, I get that all the time. I'm used to it at this point. I've grown hard. First of all, ghosts are real. Most definitely. No questions about it. They're constantly trying to talk with us. Unfortunately, after crossing to the other side, the spirits lost their original language abilities and had to start fresh. All that remains is this haunting tune that resonates through dark hallways at 3 a.m., especially this particular time of year. Research has been limited since the Fenton Works ghost portal closed down. During their time, the Fenton family gathered lots and lots of research of the language of the ghosts. However, it's been nearly 2 decades at this point, and research has generally gone quiet. Though, after interviewing several 3 a.m. lootbox YouTubers, we were able to compile a phonology, and I created a fitting romanization to match the specters that utter them. For the phonology, you have a single stop, generally realized as ba, but can sometimes be realized somewhere between ba, da, ga, just some kind of voiced stop, somewhere between the bilabial and velar region, romanized with just a b. Then you have the liquid, the approximate, the wa, which is romanized with a w. Then of course, you have the vowel, yes. It is romanized with O's, though it is best represented as somewhere between O and U. Often, most of the time, even realized as U. The O is the underlying phoneme of the allophones. Now, there's also a vibrato variety of the vowel, which is represented with a 0. If you have the simple vowel, U, the vibrato vowel would be O. A bit of a glottal trill vibrato singing kind of situation there. And then you also have a very important segment here, which is the tonal beat. Is probably the best way that scholars have been able to describe it. I have it romanized with a capital O, very easily distinguishable from the lowercase o and 0, of course. It's basically just a quick pulsation, a quick variation of the pitch, from a low pitch to a higher pitch. If you have 2 simple oohs, then it would be the pulse between ooh. Yeah, I've got a haunted artifacts museum. Only costs $35 a person to get in. $50 for kids, because I hate kids. The syllabic structure looks like this, with the V representing the simple oo or the vibrato ooh, and the capital O representing the tonal beat. And B and W can only occur word initially, and they only occur during specific grammatic situations, as we're going to be getting into. So an average word spoken by a ghost would look something like this. The word for nightmare is simple. The Halloween word order is typically SVO, though it can be switched to OVS to create passive clauses. Now, there are no intransitive verbs allowed in Halloween. Everything must have a subject and an object, and a verb. It must make a complete sentence upon every utterance, unless you're saying someone's name, which can take up several words worth of space. It may look like a clause all its own, but it's not. How can you tell? The verb, which occupies the second position in the clause, must be uttered with a globally higher pitch than the noun phrases in the first and third positions, and these are denoted in the romanization by putting the verb between asterisks. If it doesn't have a globally higher pitch than the surrounding nouns, then there will be no way to truly distinguish it from a noun. There are no endings, no suffixes, none of that. There are some prefixes in the nouns, which can be used to mark adjectives, possessives, emphatics, vocatives, etc. And that's where the but and wa will come in. So now on to the boos and the woos, as the ghosts playfully like to call it. The ba is used for emphatic situations. It can create the senses of vocative, imperative, or when you're specifying that the subject of a sentence has been placed in the third position instead of the first. Meanwhile, wa is only used to identify compound noun phrases, such as adjectives that precede nouns, and various portions of names, etc. You can see there is a list of some of the more specific aspects of what ba and wa can do below. So here is your first sentence. How did I do it? Check this out. Wholly organic EMF reader. All I gotta do is scream right into it and I get a response straight from the ghosts. Ah! See? Woo, which means, oh, my daughter is full of anguish. So, here's an example of a possessive and an example of an adjective, or two adjectives to be exact. So, again, we have that same sentence, oh, my daughter is full of anguish. We have the W coming before the first person singular pronoun. That turns it not necessarily into an adjective per se, but into a possessive pronoun or a genitive pronoun, most likely a possessive pronoun, as in this situation. Now below you have another sentence. The creaking cabinet is annoying, which would be pronounced as As you can see, there are two words here that start with wa, and that is creaking and annoy, which turns into annoying. Yes, if there was no adjective marker there, if there's no W, it was placed in the second position and had its pitch raised to create the verbal emphasis needed, then creaking would actually just be the verb to creak, annoy would be the verb to annoy. I call that one unrecognized genius. Now, here are some of the basic pronouns that we have here. We have ooh, 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 ooh. And yes, adding W to any of those will create their genitive or possessive forms. Now, if you're trying to talk to a ghost you're not really going to be able to ask them a question. Ghosts do not ask questions. They make demands and offer quests. This is extremely important, and this is one of the first lessons you learn when you become a paranormal investigator. So, if you want to ask a ghost for the reason why they did something, you're actually going to command them to tell me the reason, or let the reason be told unto me, which would be spoken as the words for reason, place, person, time, thing, and means can be used with the verb to demand the whys, wheres, whos, whens, whats, hows, respectively, as you can see below. Another important thing to remember when you're getting into paranormal investigating is that ghosts do not often count. So ghosts often count maybe from 1 to 5, using nouns that represent a certain number of units, like a twosome, a threesome of things. After this, adjectives for twice, thrice, and 10 times may be used to create, or more accurately, approximate larger numbers. You're going to see an example of the number 14 later, but it's not actually 14, it's 15, because they just decided to say thrice 5. Just remember that. After this point, the ghost will begin to exaggerate, and will just use words such as many units of a thing, or infinite units of a thing. Math is not very important when you're dead. If it's a lot, they're gonna just say it's a lot. That's how it goes. Except for 666. They do have a very specific word for 666. That being obviously. Now, the ghosts are very succinct. In this entire language, from what we have studied so far, there are only 484 words spoken by the ghosts, and a large portion of them are dedicated just to describing features of the interiors of houses and caves, you know, where you'll find ghosts, where ghosts live. Only on the days surrounding Halloween and Dia de los Muertos can typical mortals without access to the Vlad Plasmia's ghost portal speak to the ghosts. So you better get studying now, for the day is upon us. See this? That there is a country with a lot of ghosts. Ask me how I know. Ghosts cannot pronounce most human names anymore in their spectral forms. They typically make up names for the newbies based on local customs. In the United States, which contains the American ghost dialect that we are studying in this video, the custom is as follows. Each segment of the ghost name will begin with a W as if it was an adjective, and it usually starts with the season of their birth, winter, spring, summer, fall. Then the central word will be the cause of death or some kind of death-related object, something that caused their death, whether it's a murder, a stabbing, a plague, etc. And then finally, you will have a region of the United States. Now, it might be the region that they are from, it might be the region that they died in, it might be a region that they had their biggest career highlights in, or it might be, as often happens due to ghost hazing, the region of the United States that they hate the most. And for that reason, only 3 states have individual words dedicated to them. And that is Ohio, California, and Florida, because those came up the most often during ghost hazing, when to insult people by claiming their association with those states. Otherwise, you have more broad regions. The South, the Midwest, New England, and of course that converts into a few names of some famous ghosts that many of you may know in our daily lives today. I even managed to obtain an exclusive interview with one of the ghosts who wanted to share with me one of their famous folk tales. I think he's ready. Thank you for coming on this very dangerous journey with me. These are groundbreaking results, and I will surely be making an exhibit at my museum in Las Vegas based on our findings tonight. A special thanks to the matrons who have helped me get this far. If you become a matron just for the price of a little bit less than a single Starbucks coffee every month, you can support me in my various adventures, causing chaos in the conlanging world, making prescriptivists cry, while simultaneously creating prescriptivism the game. We also have 2 new patrons since the last video came out, and I'm extremely thankful for all of them to join this paranormal investigative journey. This is actually a surprise, so I hope you guys all enjoyed. The Cursed Conlang Circus is coming to an end soon, and it would be great if you guys all started sending in your stuff. I've already got a ton of responses in. It's beautiful. Go consult that video to see how to get them to me. Alright, that's all I have for you guys today. Nga is out. Now I gotta go before they get me. Do you want to harm us? Are you here in peace? No, I think he's chill, guys. Alright, let's see what he's got to say. This is so good. I'm so glad I got this filmed.